What is up? What is up, fellas? We are back. Going to be breaking down some Underdog fantasy best ball drafts. We're getting there, right? It's June 17th today. We're starting to kind of get into the range where people are starting to maybe come back to the whole redraft scene, starting to do some research. I got my draft order for my home redraft league a couple weeks ago.
I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I want mine.
Dude, it's so fun. It's so fun getting the home redraft league order because then you can start ripping some mocks and that kind of thing. But as you guys know, we do have to rip some Best Ball Mania 5 drafts. This is the best way to get ready for our home redraft league because this is the sharpest ADP out there. Spicy, if you want to hover over Best Ball Mania 5 right now, anybody who wants to join into this draft, we're going to rip 2 of them. Can join. You can enter into it. Spicy, we should have some time.
Sir.
And I might remind you guys that if you are new to Underdog Fantasy, promo code FSE, and you can claim your special pick'em offer up to $250 in bonus cash when you sign up with promo code FSE. And of course, our first edition of our draft guide to get you guys ready for your home redraft leagues will be out on July 1st. So we will have, rankings and, all the stuff that we had in last year's draft guide, the risk ratings, contextualized game logs, all that stuff to get you guys ready should be a ton of fun. If you guys are in any of these states, of course, you can do drafts on Underdog Fantasy. And the special pick'em today is Jason Tatum for Game 5 of the NBA Finals tonight. Hopefully the Mavericks can stave off elimination. They stave off the sweep last game, but let's see if they can bring it back here.
Hear me out. I'm rooting for both the underdogs here, not even just because they were both down 0-3 with the Edmonton Oilers and with the Dallas Mavericks, but specifically because A, I don't want to see an Atlantic Division team win with the Florida Panthers, and of course I want McDavid to win a cup, and B, as a Los Angeles Lakers fan, seeing Boston raise banner 18 would hurt me. So go Mavericks, go Oilers. Let's hope we can see we would see history if either of those teams were to actually complete the reverse sweep.
I don't think anybody's done it.
Not in the NBA. Never in the NBA.
And NHL in the Stanley Cup final, I don't think it's happened. It's happened in the West final, I think, once, but not in the Stanley Cup final.
The Kings did it back in, I believe, 13 or 14. And obviously the big famous one was when the Flyers did it to the Boston Bruins back in, I believe, was that the 2010 run? So
yeah,
the year that the Flyers made the conference final in the second round, they were down 0-3 to the Bruins. They ended up reverse sweeping them, and then they actually ended up beating my Montreal Canadiens in the conference final. That was when Yaroslav Halak basically made me fall in love with the Canadiens because, I was 9 years old, I believe, at the time, 2009, 2010 area. That was one of the first runs I fully remember because obviously when you're a kid, you're rooting for the team, but there's specific moments in your brain as a sports fan that you remember. And that was one of them when the Habs beat the Capitals, beat the defending champion Penguins, and then ended up losing to the Flyers in the conference final. It was a 7-8 in that conference final.
Yeah, no, it was a huge run by Halak that round, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so 3 more people into this draft, and then we will get this thing going. We got a couple of comments in the chat here. Wanya says, when's y'all's next Dynasty decisions? We have it scheduled for a week from today, so next Monday. But if you guys are really itching for one, we can maybe move it up the schedule as well. Brock says, perfect timing. He's at lunch right now. Hope y'all are doing well. Matt chimes in here. Sure. He's doing quite well. Thanks, Brock. And then, that will be next Monday as it currently stands, Wanye, but we could always rip that a little bit earlier if you want to see it. Sure. What's up, boys? What's going on? James in our Debbie startup right now. What's going on? Spicy, what's going on? Of course, he's in the backseat helping us draft here. Yo, what's going on? Smooth Criminal. He says Dalmatian, question mark. I literally said this that I wouldn't mind doing a Dalmatian, but we are ripping a BBM. What's going
on? Ben pointed it out. I wasn't sure if I was just hearing it. I think your mic input's on the wrong setting right now because I hear a little bit of an echo.
Oh, dude, you couldn't have told me that.
I just clocked it in. I thought something sounded different. I didn't know what it was. I'm like, I think it's fucking the wrong setting. So my apologies. Yeah,
dude, we were talking for 20 minutes in the backstage before the stream started. You couldn't have let me know then,
bro. Honest to God, my brain sometimes I just don't notice certain shit until it's actually brought up.
You got to be more dialed than that. Cody says always come over here based on the Twitter notification that pops up. You love to see it.
That sounds so much better.
I mean, I'm not a huge basketball guy either. I'm just a fair weather Raptors fan. Typically when the Raptors are good, I cheer for them. And when they're not, I'm the same way with baseball too. I love playing.
Oh, he's frozen.
Basketball. It's a sport I grew up playing, but not a huge watcher of basketball personally.
Dude, honest to God, man, I'm such a passionate fucking sports fan. It's I'm like in the cycles. Like, for example, Euro, like I've been watching all the fucking Euro games. Basketball, when we're fucking cooking, especially when the Lakers are in it, like I'm watching all the basketball games. Hockey, like, dude, I'm just like the degenerate sports fan that would rather sit home and watch the games than like go out. And then some people are like, oh, like you're so fucking lazy, you stay home. It's like, well, I just would rather prefer to watch these games, to be honest. And I get some people have problems with that, but I mean, I just fucking love sports. I fucking love sports. I could watch a 90-minute soccer game and be thrilled about every single minute of that game. I mean, for example, right now, Belgium versus Slovakia. Slovakia scores the opening goal against Belgium in the 7th minute. And I mean, Lukaku has missed 2 prime opportunities like he always seems to in the Euro.
Yeah, I don't really until Swiss and Germany play each other in the Euro. I really don't care what's going on because we wiped Hungary, which is something that I expected, and then Germany beat the
Hungary's
shit
a good team too, man. Hungary's good.
Yeah, Germany beat the shit out of Scotland, which is what I expected as well. So I mean, until we play Germany, I don't really care what happens.
I was shooting around when the Germany game was on. Like that was like the one game I haven't really watched at this point because I was shooting the golf round. I'm like, oh right, the Germany game started. Let me check the score, and I check and it was 5-1. I'm like, yep, no, time to put the phone back away and focus on the round. There's not much to take away here.
No, it's weird because we were talking about this in our group chat, but I was showing you my 23andMe results, and I'm like basically half split Swiss and German, even though my dad's side lineage, like where my last name comes from, is on the Swiss side. So I typically cheer for Swiss, but I guess technically I should be okay with whatever outcome.
Yeah, no, I would be curious to see what mine looks like. I would assume, like, again, the majority, especially on my mom's side, would be the Italian base, but like I think my dad's side, like I might just be like straight mud. Like it's just gonna be like just straight like Scottish, English, like every like United Kingdom type of lineage I'm probably made up of on that side.
Yeah, you got
which is weird.
You're complete munja cake on that side.
It's hilarious because it's like I have the overarching traits of like the Italian side, but then like when you contextualize that, like literally 50% of my dad's side, like I'm just like straight mutt. Like I probably have percentages like at every single point. Also, we are on the clock.
On the clock. I think AJ is a pretty easy pick here with one of these. Do we want to? I wouldn't mind double tapping wide out here and going AJ and Marv if you want to do this.
We have the one. Yeah, that's the move for sure. I wasn't sure if we had the 111 because I was gonna say if we had the 111 and Marv went. Hear me out, man. Like I've been mixing this in the last drafts that we did when you weren't like here. I think it was the one with the Saquon Barkley thumbnail when you were back in Europe. I've been experimenting taking Nico at this 1-2 turn. Reason being, a lot of these teams are going to be getting their texture on him with CD Lamb, with Jamar Chase, with Tyreek Hill. Like we're talking about weekly ceilings. If you can get a type of pairing that's unique there with AJ Brown plus Nico Collins, or Marvin Harrison plus Nico Collins, or Garrett Wilson plus Nico Collins, I think you can build some fun builds.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you can somehow double stack CJ Stroud with Diggs and with
I did that in a draft.
Collins too, like you said, like because you take Collins early, the people are inclined to pass on him. I think you'd probably have to get really lucky there and maybe just have to take Collins more so in like the 109 to 111 range in the second round to get Diggs to fall back to, because I'm not sure he'd fall all the way back to 12.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the other thing that's underrated though is obviously week 17, you got the Texans versus the Ravens. Some of the prime spots to get that Andrew / Zay Flowers plus Lamar build is actually at that 3-4 turn. So if you're to take your Nico run back, build the main for the Baltimore Ravens, like that's a nice way to build that stack.
Also, have you noticed this trend that everybody tweets out a Ravens stack with 3 wide receivers and goes crack start or unreal start to this underdog draft? And it's always like Lamb, Olave, Devontae Smith with Andrews, Lamar every single time. So anytime someone tweets out, look at this start in this underdog draft, it's always a Ravens stack with 3 wide receivers.
And like Devon Achane falling like 6 picks past ADP.
No, it's always 3 wideouts every single time. I'm always seeing it every time. They're like, gotta love the elite QB, elite tight end, 0 RB start. I'm like, this is like, I've seen 68 people tweet this out today.
Yeah, no, like you're not as unique as you think you are, buddy. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we got that. Hey, Bush, your mic sounds worse than usual.
I was ripping a webcam mic and Danny wasn't paying attention.
Hey, this is the polite way to say it, and then the classic fucking Matt Webb, the bets. Bush, your mic blows if no one's told you. I'm surprised he hasn't asked you about your bets yet.
Yeah, I think this year this might be a crazy take. I think I'm gonna focus solely on fantasy leagues and underdog pick'ems this year. I don't think I'm gonna go crazy making a million spread bets and making like I don't know. It's just way too much to focus on Sundays. You know what I mean?
You're gonna offend Matt, man. You're gonna offend
maybe,
Matt.
But I don't know. I think doing like a pick'em entry every main slate, a pick'em entry every island game, and then just rolling with my fantasy teams the rest of the time. I just feel like I'll be way less like having 7 screens open and like writing stuff down during I just want to watch the games. You know what I mean?
CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, 102 to 11 stack.
That's pretty crazy. That's a good one.
Sorry, I just saw that. That's fucking
so
insane.
He's 26 as well too, right? So let's see what he does with that pick. Probably Devontae, I would imagine, if he's going Barkley and
honestly, that's probably where
NFC
he does
East
go.
Onslaught.
That's probably where he does go, but that's where I would just take the elite fucking value, whoever slipped here. And I mean, to me, Mike Evans goes to Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors. Actually, can you check who's on the board here, Spicy? I actually want to see who'd be available.
Yeah, he's going to take Smitty, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be the highest rated player on the board, so this guy's taking Smitty. I mean, to me, I would just start building out my secondary, grab a Cooper Kupp, and then just feel good about that.
Is he going to just auto pick here after this start? Okay, I mean, he took Devontae Smith anyway.
Okay. Expected. What is the best draft strategy? Honestly, whatever. It sounds like a cop-out, but whatever your draft / your league lends itself to be available is the best draft strategy, plain and simple. If your league values a lot of running backs and you can get elite wide receiver value, typically building through wide receivers is going to be the play. But when you're in rooms like this and it's everybody's taking, wide receiver 3 projections in the 6th round, the 7th round. And at that point, you're okay, who should I take 85th overall? Let's just say Deontay Johnson just goes off the board and we're looking at Christian Watson versus Ramondre Stevenson. To me, it's why would I pass on the 250 touch running back for the receiver that may garner 100 targets? May.
Yeah, it's this year is going to be really challenging to decipher, is there a running back dead zone? What's the data say in the last 2 years that we've had a site like Underdog where the wide receivers are pushed up? Are we going to blanket statement every league is a good, place to take round 4, round 5, and round 6 running backs just because Underdog allows you to get Isaiah Pacheco and Josh Jacobs in that area? Or are home leagues going to stay home leagues and those guys will go in the top of the 3rd round or the end of the 2nd round like they always would have? So yeah, this year, like Danny just kind of made reference to, the draft strategy that fits you best is probably one that you're not going to know until the draft bullets are actually flying, because I think room to room, league to league, platform to platform, it's never differed more than this year.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Okay, so we got Philly and Arizona, week 17 correlation. What is it? Dallas and Los Angeles Rams that we have with those teams?
For which Dallas and the Rams, yeah, for each of those teams. Yes.
Okay, so just making sure I had that pulled up there. To me, I would be
you gotta grab Hurts here.
Double stack the Kelsey Mahomes right now if we wanted to. We could also try and push Mahomes if we wanted to and take Kelsey with one of these.
I'd be down for that. I would also be down for Jalen Hurts and Trey McBride, but I know you're lower on McBride. So
I'm way lower on McBride. I think I would go Kelsey here.
I'm
with
cool
this
with
first
Kelsey.
one, and then let's just take a wide receiver with the other pick. Do you want to go Higgins?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. So you don't want to go with AJ Brown and Hurts here? We do have AJ Brown.
Right. We have fucking AJ Brown. Yeah, we probably should go with Hurts then.
Never mind. I was just totally you're good.
I'm trolling.
You're good. I mean, to be fair, Casey,
hear me out. If 5-12 Mahomes happens, do we double stack the QBs?
Hey, if these guys want to let us get a 5-12 Mahomes, I think just personally based off ADP value, you kind of have to.
Yeah, well, I saw it happen.
Giga Chad is always in these drafts. Giga Chad is always in these drafts.
He needs a red badge, man.
Bro, every stream we do, Giga Chad is picking a few picks from us. That is insane. He's got to be in the stream, right?
Yeah, he might be. Hey, Giga Chat, if you're in here, let us know down below in the chat. We also got a super here from Dem Boys. He said, "Who's a good round 15? Good round 15 pick in a super flex league? Are you referring to Dynasty,
Yeah,
Corey, or are you
Dynasty.
talking specifically in redraft?"
Yeah, Dynasty, because I know I was messaging him because he's in a startup right now. Just looking off the 15th round of the board that we're in right now. So if you guys want reference, we actually just started a Devi startup. So this is best ball. So keep that in mind. There is going to be a little bit of difference with how some of the positions are treated. But in terms of our board, we're looking at, I mean, this is James. This is me. This is, you guys saw James earlier in the chat. Corey, Ron. This is kind of what the board looks like. 15th round, we do see like Michael Wilson go off the board to Corey, Josh Palmer, J.K. Dobbins. I grabbed like Jalen McMillan. Maybe
That's
if you're
who I
lucky,
wanted to fall to me. So that'd be my answer to the question: who's a good 15th rounder? Jalen McMillan would be one.
If you're lucky, Demario Douglas could fall too. I really like him as well. Like there's like really like you might even find some of these 14th rounders that will fall because I feel like the wide receivers in this league specifically were pushed up given we're all sickos. But yeah.
Yeah, there's some good options there. I mean, we're in a very heavy tight end premium format, but Tucker Kraft, I would say, generally should be in the 15th round most of the time. But ours is like a 1.75 premium, so that's why he didn't make it to the 15th round in our draft. But yeah, there's a number of options there that we kind of showed. What do we got here?
Wait, A-Rich 4-3? I just took that in.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is really early for A-Rich to me.
I mean, I guess he's double stacking with Taylor and Pittman, but I mean,
apparently, Michael said he's the one. I'm 1-7. Is he Giga Chad?
Are you Giga Chad?
No, he's Mike. He's Mike right there.
Oh, that was like,
bro. I thought he was Giga Chad.
I was like, bro, if you were Giga Chad, I've said some dirty things about you in a couple of these drafts.
I mean, Spicy's saying that Giga Chad is in here. He said we got 3 people back to back with Jared, Michael, and then Giga Chad because
there's
no way Sir King, Jared, Michael, and then Giga Chad. I don't know if you're Giga Chad. Let us know who's
let us know who Giga Chad is because you've sniped me a couple times in these drafts, and I've said fucking, hey yo, it's all for the jokes.
Interested to see how this 12 spot looks. Thought it would be Harrison Bucker. Y'all excited for the Olympics? I don't know. Are the Olympics this year? I guess that answers your question.
Yeah. Oh, Spicy said it's because he's always in these drafts. Like he has to be watching. And I agree.
I see.
Dude, like there's no way he's always queuing drafts when we're streaming. Like he has to be watching somehow. Like.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This Giga Chad guy's in here way too much to not be in here. Watching the stream. Paco, good to see you, boys. Spicy, OG. Good day, amigo. What's going on?
Let's go.
We got D Bell in here. Sup, Poppy? It's good.
We found Giga Chad. We found Giga Chad.
Who is it?
We found Giga Chad.
I don't know. This could be Mickey Mouse. We're gonna need proof.
Dude, he has to be in here, like, right? He could also just be playing the fucking bit, but like, dude, there's no way Giga Chad isn't watching. So, like, if this is actually Giga Chad, that is comedy. That is comedy.
Also, that's crazy, Will, that you're 100% English. This guy's a purebred,
we got fucking Draco Malfoy in the chat over here. Christ.
Yeah, dude. Like, my 23andMe says I'm like 99.9% Northwestern European, so German, Swiss, and French or whatever. But like, if you're all one country, like that is extremely purebred right there.
Amen. Hey.
I've been getting a lot of Kelsey Mahomes stack without reaching. Yeah, I agree, man. And when you take Kelsey, I noticed that Mahomes sometimes does fall back. Like I saw Karain and Overset doing a draft, and someone got the Kelsey Mahomes where we're picking. Like someone picked Kelsey at the 312 and then got Mahomes to fall back at the 512.
The best I got is 4-5 turn for those guys. Like I've never gotten
getting Mahomes specifically at the 5-6 turn is pretty crazy.
I agree. Yeah. What I mean, I'm cool with just grabbing a couple more wide receivers.
Matt says I bet that last 4 hours. Me not betting on the NFL this year.
Bro. You'll end up betting it.
I'm still gonna do underdog pickups, and I still have fantasy teams, so it's not like I'm going cold turkey. I just mean like I'm not gonna do a bunch of like DraftKings nonsense bets.
You know where I want to lean with one of them.
I would be okay. I don't want to take Jaden Reed here this high personally. I would be okay with Worthy since we got the Kelsey
I would much
bet
rather
on the
Reed than
Chiefs
Worthy.
offense already.
I mean, if you want to make the consolidate, I would just rather
Well,
wait
we could
on
double
Rice.
tap both of these guys if you want.
Can we pass on Rome though?
Yeah, I can pass on Rome for
You
Worthy.
bet.
I already have a
Let's
shit
do
ton
it
of
then.
Rome.
Fuck
Dude.
it,
Like,
fuck it.
I'm not really worried about missing out on
Do it.
O'Dune's day.
Let's do it. Worthy and Reed.
I personally would go Mixon, just saying my piece here, but Reed is fine if you want to go with him.
Yeah, I gotta go with my boy. You get your boy, I get my boy. That's as fair as we can go.
Yeah, I've heard like a million people make this argument about Jaden Reed, and he's such a divisive pick. I've noticed, but
People are either all in or all out.
Get at the 5-6 turn. Like I just don't like when he's going in these like super piss boy rooms at the 4-5 turn. Like that's way too high to me.
I mean, dude, I'm a Jaden Reed fan. I can't take him at the 4-5 turn either. Like,
yeah, because it's still outside the range of outcomes because that receiver core was so inexperienced and Watson was injured and Dobbs was obviously a second-year guy and Wicks was a rookie and all the guys that were in that receiving core were like young players. It's possible that the design touches and the reason that Jaden Reed was able to kind of come in as a slot receiver and produce right away is because everybody else was trying to get up to speed. And if Wicks is a dude next year and if Dobbs is a consistent guy at X and Watson stays healthy, then I think it's possible that Reed is only like a 70% route rate type of guy.
He could, but like we were talking about, if you guys are unfamiliar, we actually hashed out this whole conversation on the wide receiver rankings episode, but that Corey's issue mostly is like, where's his snaps going to come if all the wide receivers are healthy? It's still an ambiguous room. We're assuming that he's going to be the one based off his ADP compared to the others. Where I'm kind of at though, is that for a guy that demanded the volume that he did down the stretch, was as efficient with the volume as he was down the stretch, I don't see how his role would go down comparative to what we saw down the stretch last year. And down the stretch, like,
but we've seen plenty of rookie wide receivers produce good in their rookie years and then not really have their roles change.
And that's fair, but contextually speaking, the way these rookies win does matter. Like, for example, as much as I love Christian Watson, you can kind of understand, hey, more of a volatile deep threat, was hitting at the end of his rookie season. It makes sense as to why his second year, I guess hamstring injuries obviously matter, of course, but it makes sense why the volatile deep threat may or may not have faded down the stretch.
I don't think there's anything to take away from Watson's second year aside from he was hurt.
No, but what I'm saying is that when you see a rookie come onto the scene, typically down the stretch, it's volatile deep threats that catch some touchdown luck. Jaden Reed that's not how he was making his hay. He was working as a yards after catch player.
We were all over Watson last offseason.
I agree. Again, I would take the Watson bet again, but what I'm saying is that typically the ones we do see fade, like the ones we see stick, are the Amon or archetypes. Or look at Deebo Samuel, for example, in his second year, I believe was the one where he like fully broke out. But it was first year was 2019. They made the Super Bowl. 2020.
He was hurt. He was banged up. He had surgery his second year, so he didn't have a good second year.
It was his third year.
All the way down the ADP board, and then he broke out as a third-year guy in like the 8th, 9th round or whatever. He kind of, honestly, it reminds me a little bit of Christian Watson's case right now, where we knew
Jaden Reed plays like him.
He was a talented rookie. Then he gets banged up and comes back and has a great season as a third-year guy.
Sure. But I mean, stylistically, he is a lot more similar to Jaden Reed than Christian Watson.
I don't care. Nobody's ever going to be Deebo again.
I think Jaden Reed can be.
I think it's complete bullshit. Now, Jaden Reed might be a slot.
That's how he played last year.
Touches, but he is not Deebo Samuel.
That's how he won last year, and he was averaging 15.4 PPR points per game down the stretch.
Yes, but nobody's Deebo. Nobody.
Why can't Jaden Reed be LaFleur's version in terms of usage to Deebo? I'm not comparing him strictly to Deebo. Deebo's a more physical player. Sure. I think Jaden Reed can do more wide receiver stuff than Deebo Samuel could at that age. Absolutely.
I guess. I don't know. It seems like we're just pigeonholing a guy who got some design touches into the next Deebo, and it just doesn't seem correct to me.
Yeah.
I like Jaden Reed. You guys know I like Jaden Reed.
Amen.
I think 6th round is where he should be going because he's a good bet to be a second-year breakout candidate. But when we're kind of already assuming that he's the number one there, that's when I push back.
I feel very confident he will be the one. That's kind of why I'm in on him. That's the difference.
When are the sleeper mocks going to start? We'll probably do some here pretty soon. Are y'all doing another after this? Yes, we are.
Yep.
Tyrone Tracy. Yeah, he's getting some buzz right now,
bro.
Seen from the Giants coaching staff here.
Could save $5. Just ask me. Dynasty. Y'all were scared to let me do. You're already in a Devi league with us. Also, we
Yeah.
weren't the
Also, trade
commissioners.
me Ashton Janty, Brock.
Bro. You know what's
I'll sell my soul for him. Like I'll
Yeah.
literally lose the trade just so I can watch him on
Bush.
Saturdays.
I was gonna offer Ron, so I have the 103, he has the 105. I was gonna offer him something of like 103 for Chris Godwin plus the 105, and we were talking about it. But then I forgot that you literally pick 104. So if I traded down to 105, it's not like I'd even get him.
Get
So,
ready
like,
to learn
I can't
Ollie
even do
Gordon,
that.
buddy.
I'm just gonna take Jeremiah Smith because I know that if I trade down, I'm just not getting Janty, plain and simple.
Right, but Ron would take him 103, would he not?
No, he would take Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I thought you meant you were going to trade down to 105 and still get Jeremiah Smith because I would.
No. Ron wants Jeremiah Smith. Also, you are cutting out Bear right now, bro. You're cutting out a lot.
Okay, sorry, I just lagged out for a
You
second
did.
there. Do we want to grab a running back stab here with Aaron Jones? Maybe
I'm cool with the running back
it's
stab.
week 17 correlation with Reed too. I think, isn't it? Or no?
Yeah. Minnesota versus Green Bay.
Yeah, let's
I'm cool with
grab Jones with one of these.
a little bit of
and
ADP
then
value.
The wide
DeAndre
receiver
Swift
just
for the division.
dried the F up here.
A good thing we caught up to it.
Yeah,
I'm
we
cool with
did.
DeAndre Swift here because you do get 2 divisional games against Minnesota and against Green Bay, so you got a little bit of correlation with the division there.
Yeah. Let's take Swift. I'm a little like I'm usually very much on the side of taking upside swings on rookies, but Brooks that high is that's a little high for me on Brooks.
Him going ahead of Swift specifically,
I know this sounds disgusting because like Zamir White sucks, but like he shouldn't be going ahead of Zamir White.
I would take him ahead of Zamir White.
Not in best ball. In a redraft league where he's an
you-
upside swing and you can just stash him on your bench, definitely. Yeah, like take Jonathan Brooks. But in best ball, like you need those weeks out of your players.
Can you tell me with certainty that it's not going to be a 50-50 timeshare between Zamir White and
I think
Alex
it will
Madison?
be 100% Zamir White's backfield.
I think Zamir White will be
backfield. I think it will be his backfield in that he gets a 70% opportunity share.
I can't get to 70%. Could I see 55 to 60? Sure, but like I don't think Zamir White is tangibly a better running back at this point than Alex Madison.
I think Alex Madison's like certified ass.
I think they both.
Zamir White's not very good either, but like Madison is totally dust.
Let's get 2 down bangers on what should be a bottom 5 offense in the league. That really fucking.
Why couldn't they have drafted a running back, man? Like, what are you doing? I mean, they have Lauby, I guess, but like, you couldn't tell me that they could have drafted Isaiah Davis in the 4th round to give me some hope.
They got 2 guys who suck in the receiving game and 1 guy who literally just can't run between the tackles as a running back.
They have 1 guy who's a god in the receiving game,
but he can't run between the tackles.
No, he can't.
Fuck. Christ. Where do we leave off? What are your expectations for Worthy year 1? You cut out again, by the way. Oh, you are frozen.
I don't know why the hell I keep freezing all of a sudden here now. The year 1 expectations for me on Xavier Worthy are honestly like I think he's going a little high on underdog drafts, but I understand, the way you build out a team. The one that like you need to build it for the back half of the season. Like that's why you're taking Worthy as high as you're taking him. People have made the argument too, like if you just close your eyes and flip the ADP of Cortland Sutton and Xavier Worthy, it's how we were drafting teams 5 years ago. The guys like Cortland Sutton, who we could project for volume or whatever, were 6th, 7th round picks. And the guys like Xavier Worthy, who were just rookies that had upside, were 10th round picks or 9th round picks where Cortland Sutton is going.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Where did we leave off?
I actually didn't answer the question. My expectations for Xavier Worthy is that he's probably a guy that's going to have some spike weeks early in the year, and he'll take over and kind of gain some more targets as the season goes along.
What do you think his bottom line
looks
looks
like?
like?
Out to a very hot start. As much as I love Worthy, I think he'll probably be a bit of a slow starter.
Like if you had to, obviously, again, this is just coming out of our ass. If people are watching this, like, oh my god, like where are these projections? These aren't projections. This is just off the cuff. If you had to project how much in terms of overall production he would get this year, what, like 800 to 850 with like 8 touchdowns?
That would be a pretty damn good rookie season from him. I would say that would actually be more of like a 75th percentile outcome. I would say I'm baking in the situation. If he had like a 670 and 4 touchdown season and his median, to be honest, which maybe would be a bit disappointing relative to where we're drafting him.
Would be very disappointing in the 5th, 6th
I mean,
round,
he's a young player. He was undersized. As much as I love him, I think he has a chance to really start slow for the first like 8 games.
Yeah, I mean that goes back to like the Jaden Reed. Like if Jaden Reed had that year, we would all be completely disappointed with him, and they're going in the same ADP range. So like we would need more from Worthy in order to justify the ADP. Though, like you said, it doesn't have to be a linear progression through the year. Maybe he only has 190 yards in his first 6 games, and then in his last 11 games, he's on pace to be at a 70 yards per game type of wide receiver with like
Right. Which is
0.7
kind of
touchdowns per
what
game.
I'm expecting personally.
That's fair.
Because I think he's going to take a little bit of time to get up to speed as a young player who had some rawness to his game too.
I know it sounds gross because we probably need at least a receiver here, but
This board is
I
clean,
can't
dude.
pass on Love if he falls, knowing we have a Reed, right? And
I think we're going to be really behind at receiver if we do that.
we would be, but like we could grab Love and Wicks on this turn.
That's too early for me on Wicks. I'd prefer Dobbs, to be honest.
Fair.
But I think he might be gone. Is he even on the board?
He is gone. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
How the hell?
Wicks
Dude,
the
this
next
is
factor.
a piss boy room if I've ever seen one. Holy crap.
I'll let you make a call. I would go with Love and Wicks, but if you're not down for that, I'll let you give your input too.
Correlation?
Yeah, I mean we could get Love because we have Reed, and then we would get Wicks.
Yeah, just take Love with the first one. I think we'll be done at quarterback. And then I've been plugging my nose in drafting Josh Palmer. Like, I know he's disgusting, but like, let me paint a word picture here. Quentin Johnston's bad. We all know that.
We could also go Cooks because we have the Philly correlation.
I'm not taking Brandon Cooks.
All good.
He sucks. I think Palmer's got a better projection.
If you don't like Cooks, then you better be in love with Jalen Tolbert because there's fucking.
Honestly, I think it's going to be mostly CeeDee Lamb, the run game, and Jake Ferguson.
What run game?
I think Zeke. I've been drafting a shit ton of Zeke, dude. Like an absolute fuck ton.
The Cowboys are going to throw the ball.
I like Paul because I think that QJ might be a stone cold zero. DJ Chark is just a field stretcher, and Ladd McConkey, while he's a good young prospect, he wasn't a perfect prospect either. Like, it's possible that he doesn't take a lot of time to get back up to speed. Josh Palmer quietly was like a top 36 receiver as a second-year player in points per game. Like, I know it's not.
I would have went Wicks.
I know it's not sexy, but like if he gives you top 36 production as a 10th round pick in this heavy of a wide receiver market on Underdog, I think he'll end up being a half decent Jacoby Myers-esque return.
I mean, given our situation, I definitely would have gone Cooks or Wicks. I don't know
see the upside very much differently, to be honest, because Wicks has this uphill climb to go, and I still think we could get Wicks with our next pick too.
There's similar bets.
People are listening to us.
There's similar bets, except we have the correlation tiebreaker. Is kind of how I view it. Not to mention, I mean, you're against Cooks, but it's like the Cowboys were the highest scoring team in the NFL last year. Lost Michael Gallup, lost Tony Pollard. Like,
right,
they're
but
going to throw the fucking
Michael
ball.
Gallup was the number 2 or the number 3 last year or whatever,
85th
and he was
graded receiver.
completely useless.
Okay. But at the same time, if we project him to throw the ball more than he did last year, losing Tony Pollard is an example of that. Like, Cooks is going to have spike weeks.
Yeah, no, he probably will. I think he'll have spike weeks. I actually think it could be more of like a by committee approach at wide receiver for the Cowboys, where like you're not really going to be overly excited about any of the guys that you drafted outside of Lamb.
I've been getting a good amount of Tolbert simply because Tolbert goes like round 17. And it's like, dude, I understand Tolbert has not been good in his first 2 years in the NFL career. I'm not calling him some great talent, but he will get starting outside snaps on the Dallas Cowboys offense, and he's going in round 17.
Yeah. I will say a lot of my favorite clicks late in the draft play for the Patriots, and Josh Palmer has week 17 correlation to New England. So if we want to tack on a Polk, a Baker, or a Douglas, or a Henry,
I'm always good for a Douglas.
I'm good for all those players. Polk, Baker, and Henry, I click a lot. So
I was gonna say, dude, Henry is such a free click where he's going as a back end tight end too. He goes like tight end 20 off the board.
Yeah, no, he goes super late right now.
For sure.
I have receipts. Danny sniped me way well.
He's saying he's Giga Chad. He's saying
he is Giga Chad. Should I sell high on Stroud by tearing down his value? Yeah. Value might be at his peak. Superflex start 11. I also have Burrow, Levis, Nix, hoping to compete in 2025.
If you're tearing down, sure, but like if you're just
I would just say, can you get to Hurts or Lamar? Because I think they'll just outscore Stroud.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you're competing, right?
Yeah, if you have Love and Reed and you're adding one, I'm cool with that. You got the core. correlation too.
I've been drafting an uncomfortable amount of Deshaun Watson. I got to stop.
He's talking about Christian.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry. Deshaun Watson, too. I've been drafting a lot of. But yeah, I've been actually clicking Christian Watson's name quite a bit on Underdog.
And Njoku's free in drafts right now, and you can easily backdoor Browns correlation. Also worth noting, Jerry Jeudy in the 120 ranges.
Both the running backs are in the 130s, too.
Yeah, the Browns may genuinely have a top 10 to 15 offense, and their pieces outside of, I guess Amari Cooper is still affordable because he's around 3-4, but more so everybody else aside from Amari Cooper is a double-digit round pick. Like I said, with Jerry Jeudy, they just gave him $18 million per year, and he's going at pick 120. David Njoku was literally I think he was the highest scoring tight end in the last 5 weeks down the stretch last year.
Week 8 on. Remember when we were talking about Trey McBride? I was like, oh, Trey McBride was the tight end too, week 8 onward. Well, David Njoku was the tight end 1 week 8 onward. And you don't have to talk me into an 18th round Elijah Moore. I'll click that.
I'll click that button too. The other one, hear me out. I know it sounds gross, but to hedge my Nick Chubb, I haven't been taking Jerome Ford, but you know who I have been? Deontay fucking Foreman. He goes in the last round. And flat out, if Nick Chubb were to miss any time, do I think there's a tangible difference between Jerome Ford and Deontay Foreman running the football? I don't.
Yeah. Got a domain comment here. John says, watched a Dynasty domain video recently. What's your guys' response to the argument that you shouldn't do a productive struggle because the point of Dynasty is winning and you give up 1 year to start? I would say, go ahead.
I was just going to say, all the response I need to give where the teams I've done a productive struggle with have won within 3 years of me doing the productive struggle. So I don't understand why people think it's black or white, where if you punt year 1, you're just automatically committing to a punt. Yes, punt year 1, you're not going to win. But if I'm tangibly making my team better with the value I accrued over that year 1, I'm basically making the bet, that I could have more success in the next 11 years than everybody else can have in 12, which their point is if everybody in the room, we'll make a pick first. Yeah, sure. Josh Downs. Their point is if everybody in the draft is doing a productive struggle, I would agree. You would want to do the contending route. But if you're in a draft, especially where running backs are going a little bit higher, where it's very, very attainable to do a productive struggle, you'll notice within the next few years, your team will be 120% better than it would if you were trying to take the contending route. And again, I have 15 dynasty leagues. I've probably productive struggled in 10 or 11 of them. And again, like I said, I won 9 championships last year.
Yeah, Danny kind of cooked last year. Okay. Do we want to go Sharbs, Kendre, or do we want to take Gabe Davis and cut this off at 7 wideouts and build out a 7 RB?
Could go Chubb too.
I draft so much of him, to be honest, but we can. It doesn't matter.
All right. I'm down for whatever.
Go Chubb.
Yeah. Pick Chubb.
All right. We got an ancient running back core here with Jones, Swift, and Chubb. We're going to need some young guns in the late rounds.
If we were doing a 2021 fantasy draft right now, oh boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, going back to the point, there's definitely validity, and I felt they did a very good job in that video. I feel ignoring the fact that, yeah, productive struggle, you are punting a year, but if your contending window is stronger past that year, it's worth it. That's what I view.
You'll only know the answer to that question based on what the rest of your league is doing. Because 1 year punts can be extremely, extremely successful if you're in a league where everybody wants to win the championship year 1 and you're collecting first round picks and you're getting a bunch of young players at a discount or whatever the case is. It's when everybody, because we've done drafts where there's 4 or 5 people trying to do productive struggles. That's when it's definitely a minus EV move to try and collect 1 million picks and not draft any competitive players.
It's all about understanding the relative value of assets in your league and then comparing it to where the market value of that league is, that micro league market is. Because you'll know if you're in a bunch of dynasty leagues, the typical valuations of first round picks, the typical valuations of certain quarterbacks, certain running backs, certain wide receivers, certain tight ends, comparing that macro feel based off the portfolio of leagues you're in to that micro league that you just joined is ultimately how you form your best strategy. For example, in the Devi league we just started, guys, you know how much I fucking hate running backs. I have 4 fucking running backs on that team that I selected pretty highly because Saquon Barkley fell to the 6'8", Rashad White fell to the 8'8", DeAndre Swift fell to the 9'8", Alvin Kamara fell to 11'4". It's I will take the running backs when they fall to that certain value. But in certain rooms, when Saquon Barkley is a 3rd round pick, when Rachaad White is a 5th round pick, when DeAndre Swift is a 7th round pick, Alvin Kamara an 8th round pick, that's when you want to go a productive struggle route, because you'll know based off the habits, based off the behaviors of people in your league, what approach will suit you best. And usually by round 4, you can kind of see where your league valuation's at.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Spicy, do you want to go to the board real quick? I just want to check some week 17 correlation stuff here.
Yeah.
So, Marshawn Lloyd would be an interesting one for this team because we do have the Packers stacked up. So if you want to star him, Ty Chandler is a guy that I click often, but we already have Aaron Jones, so we probably don't want to go
Kraft,
that
tight end
route.
2 season?
Komet or Musgrave?
Tucker Kraft, tight end 2 season on this team?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, Lloyd just went here. Oh, man, the board's getting disgusting really fast.
I mean, we might have to go the wide receiver route. How far down is
I also, like, if Komet falls, man, like, I don't mind tapering off.
We kind of need a wide receiver. We have 6, to be fair.
Him as our second tight end.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
There's like, we don't have anything else really on the board that appeals to me right now. We could go with like a Ray Davis or something like that would be fine with me, or an Algier, potentially take the handcuff upside.
Yeah. Also Gigachad going with the Chandler. That's a good pick.
Goes Roman Wilson too. Wasn't going to pick him, so that's fine. We could take Antonio Gibson's week 17 correlated with Josh Palmer for us.
Hear me out. I know it's fucking disgusting, but we do have a young wide receiver core. We could get Adam Thielen to get us through the first few weeks.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's disgusting. I'm not going to act like it's a pretty pick.
It's literally
disgusting.
Want to die.
It makes me want to vomit, actually.
Yeah. Because also, this team is definitely a get ready to learn Chuba Hubbard buddy, because we have Nick Chubb and like guys that are not going to be great early in the season at wide receiver too. Yeah, I would be down for either of Algier, Ray Davis, or Thielen. I'm fine with any one of those guys.
Get one of those running backs and the receiver, I would say, so we can have a more balanced approach.
Okay, so let's grab Thielen here, and then let's go. Let's go Ray Davis. I just don't think Bijan's gonna like be the type of guy that goes down and misses like the whole year. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like maybe he will, and knock on wood. I really hope that doesn't happen. But to me, I think Ray Davis would be a great
the other route guy. The other route could have been like Antonio Gibson to backdoor the Patriots correlation, but I mean, like that's also
there's tons of Patriots guys we can take later if we want to. We might want to stop at 7 wideouts though, because we're gonna need like 6 or 7 RBs.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I think the last wide receiver we should take is one of the Pats guys and be done at the position.
Yeah. And honestly, let's just earmark it Baker or Douglas, because I think Polk is already off the board anyway.
Yeah, he's definitely like round 13. I think he probably went. Oh, he went round 12. Wow. Fair play.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need at least 6 RBs on this team, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. Where do we leave off in the comments? Team 1 with a crack start. Yeah, he's hashing it out right now. I can't believe I just said that. All right. I don't know how much I would spend on Underdog, but it's not legal in Iowa, so I may not find out. Oh, we got a fellow Lucas Kaser in the chat. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely got to make some drives to different states to get into some Underdog drafts here. What's the difference between Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers in a 12-team Superflex dynasty? I mean, about 15 years of age is probably the thing that comes to mind.
If you have Deshaun Watson, what would you need plus Aaron Rodgers to tear down?
I probably wouldn't be looking for a trade package like that, because if I'm moving off of Deshaun Watson, I'm not trying to get an older quarterback coming off of a torn Achilles. Yeah. Like I would probably just want draft picks or young.
Or vice versa. You cut out again, by the way. Your internet's just pooping itself. You good now?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear that. My shit keeps lagging out.
I was going to say, your internet's just pooping itself right now.
Dude, it's StreamYard. My internet's totally fine. It's StreamYard just does this sometimes.
Even when we're recording, sometimes like I'll like clean it up, like because like it'll be like a cut. But like, yeah, no, I don't. It was ever since you came back from Europe, StreamYard's been fucking frying you for some reason.
Yeah, here, I'm going to quickly refresh my page here.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I'll answer some comments while we're waiting. For real. Pushing his internet. Jaden Reed is also cheaper by a round plus than Watson was last year. Yeah, no, I think Jaden Reed is a very, very good player. And it's kind of funny because, like, obviously Bush was the Jaden Reed guy in the pre-draft cycle, but seeing how he played down the stretch, again, 15.4 PPR points per game, we're talking about a legitimate top 15 scoring level wide receiver. Instead of making contextual reasons why he can't repeat that, oh, Christian Watson was hurt. Oh, like they have a lot of wide receivers on that depth chart. Kind of reminds me of the Ramonra case a couple years ago, like you've alluded to, where, I mean, at the end of the day, all we're looking for from rookie receivers is, can they produce? Jaden Reed showed he can be a productive NFL wide receiver going into his second year with an MVP, in my opinion, caliber quarterback there with Jordan Love. I'm for it. By the way, your audio reverted back. You're going to need to fix it.
Did it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, there's buzzing.
No, it didn't. That's fine.
Buzzing. Okay, yeah, you're louder than usual.
What the heck is going on here?
You're good now. You're good now. I just turned you down, but like maybe your volume input was pushed up when you rejoined. But yeah, no, you're good now.
We're just having some classic technical difficulties today.
Hey, we're not software engineers. We're not audio engineers, boys. We're far from it.
Yeah, and I know we're using their product right now, but like somebody create a better product than StreamYard, and I'll use it. Honestly,
yeah, for real.
It's not good.
Reed is much better than Watson was last year. Yeah, I would agree. Especially because we know Jordan Love is a really good quarterback at this point versus we were hoping he'd be last year. We'll make another bet this season. Minutes later, I'll sell my soul.
Dude, in a fantasy league, I'll sell my soul for him.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
I'm not selling ARSB for him. Come on now.
Wait, where do you have ARSB?
Debbie Disciples.
I didn't even know you had a Monra. How'd you get a Monra?
I had him. I got him last year. I traded Saquon and DJ Moore for him.
Wow, I love that for you.
Yeah.
Holy Christ. I didn't
It kind of hurt at the
realize
time because I offered the deal like in week 2 or 3, and then DJ Moore had like a 50-point.
He just randomly accepted. I remember that.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the guy who left the league, by the way?
Kind of stung at the time. Yeah, I think he did leave the league.
Classic.
Jalen McMillan in round 15 now. Holy Christ.
Wait, what? What's his ADP? He was going like
round. It was 18. Undrafted about 3 days ago.
Yeah. There's no way he must have reached by like 30 plus picks.
Yeah.
Click McMillan. Yeah, let's see. Let's see where his ADP is. Yeah, he took him 31 picks ahead of ADP, by the way.
Yeah, not great. I actually really like Kalak. Fuck, we already have Swift. God damn it.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna need a tight end soon. We do have
tapering off our tight end core here and grabbing Fant.
Kraft. I'm cool. We're waiting on Kraft though. No,
there's just guys on the board I like here.
Yeah, we can go Fant. That's fine.
Let's go Fant. I hate the board right now.
So, are we closing off with 7 or 8 receivers?
We're done. We're done after one more potentially. Let's go to running back. We got to take one.
Is my hero available?
See, I'd be okay taking Tracy here if you want to go with Tracy.
I'm cool with Tracy. Let's do Tracy.
I haven't taken Tracy very much actually, to be honest.
I've been taking a decent bit.
We're going to be doing my obligatory Audric Estime 18th round click for sure.
Ah, damn it. Where'd he go? We have Tracy in the thing, so we're good. I mean, to be fair, I grabbed so much Tracy myself. Maybe it's a good thing we don't end up with a ton of them now. We already have him as our leading player.
I actually don't grab. I grab, you know who I grab a lot in this area is fucking Damian Pierce.
Hear me out. I've gotten a couple like late 16th, early 17th round Damian Pierce's. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, dude. Like I think he's a pretty good handcuff to Joe Mixon when you think about it. Like I don't think he'll have a huge standalone role. He's probably just a handcuff. But I mean, Damian Pierce was like a really good running back 2 years ago. He was a really bad running back last year. So I don't know which one he actually is. Maybe he was hurt.
There's no way Jelani Woods is a 16th round ADP, right?
Ugh.
Feels gross. Oh, that's the guy that reached on A-Rich. I mean, is this Brock's fucking burner in this fucking draft right now?
Could be.
I'm trolling. Look, Brock's a big fucking Colts fan, but I know he wouldn't reach against ADP to do it. Overall, how is the 2020 25 RB class looking at? Oh boy, you can give IDUP the spiel, but let's just say, according to your tweet, there's about 15 fucking guys that could very easily be second round picks next year or higher.
Yeah, so that comes with a huge caveat that I gave them all a baseline level of like top 2 round draft capital. So if they don't go in round 2, for example, they wouldn't, and it wouldn't be 16 guys that would have been top 3 running backs in this year's class. But I will say there's probably going to be 8 to 10 guys that get day 2 capital this year coming up, assuming, guys don't all go back to school like they did last year, assuming guys actually don't get injured or don't have down seasons or whatever. But man, like Janty looks unbelievable. Like I tweeted it out today, but when you remove the draft capital input from the model, the top 3 prospects, Bijan, Saquon, and slotting right behind those guys ahead of Christian McCaffrey is Ashton Janty. So we're talking about a guy who could be an absolute stud. I don't think he's going to go in the top 10 like McCaffrey did. So he'll probably slot in more around the Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor range if he gets like late first, early second round draft capital. But he looks like a stud. Ollie Gordon, Amari and Hampton, Quinshawn Judkins, Trey on day 2 that look like they're going to be really good options too.
Yeah, and you guys will be seeing some more content on those running backs on the channel this week. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But we're all in on Ashton Janty. You guys will hear in that video. We're legitimately looking at the next superstar running back in the league.
Yeah, he's an absolute stud.
The film backs it up for the record.
What's up?
For those wondering, the film absolutely fucking backs it up too. No,
it's not just the profile. I think the only thing that you could poke holes on Janty with is like level of competition, and maybe he's not like the freakiest guy, but like honestly, he looks like a really good athlete to me. Like I don't think he's big enough, he's fast enough, he's strong enough. He doesn't look like he's not 230 pounds and he doesn't run 4.35, but he's probably a mid 4.4s guy who's 215.
Hey, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think running a mid 4.5 affected Alvin Kamara, and this guy breaks tackles. He also
definitely faster than a mid 4.5 guy too. I think.
Kamara at the combine ran, I think 4.56, I believe it was.
Yeah, something like that. I think he'll run faster than that.
Oh, for Janty, I absolutely agree. But what I'm saying is like, even if he ran a 4.52 in the community, it's like, oh my god, he ran so slow. Ew, like get him off the board. It's like, dude, like the guy breaks tackles as good as anybody I've seen since Alvin Kamara, and I'm not even trolling you. Like obviously, Kamara's a prospect wasn't regarded that way, but when we saw Kamara come on the screen, the way he was shedding tackles, being that elusive player out of the backfield, and being able to create breakaway runs despite 4.56 speed because he's got the best balance maybe I've ever seen of all time. Ashton Janty, he's got that upside. He's got that upside.
He's a stud for sure. Who
also,
has the better
elite
rookie
receiver.
season, Ladd or Worthy? I mean,
Ladd.
I think it'll be Worthy.
Totality of the rookie season, Ladd. But in terms of specifically best ball, I can see because of the insulation of the offense, Worthy giving you more week winning plays down the stretch.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's pretty sold on like the Chargers being run heavy, which is probably going to happen to some degree. But yeah, I think the fact that we can really ask this question means that like Ladd might be a little undervalued in home leagues, especially. Like I think on Underdog, people recognize what his role could be and that kind of thing. But in home leagues, I think he'll go undervalued for the most part.
For sure. So we want to grab 2 running backs here, or running back and a receiver.
I mean, we have 7 wideouts and we invested pretty heavily early. We got 4 wide receivers in the first like 6 rounds.
I'm cool with Pierce plus another running back here because I really do feel like our wide receivers can get us by.
I might do my classic Pierce estimate that I always do in this area of the draft.
We could also, I'm cool. I'm cool with estimate. Because we're not going to take Foreman because we literally have fucking Nick Chubb. That's just a negative EV bet. I'm cool.
We could take Shipley as well if we wanted to, but
he's just not very good in it.
I know. I'm just not as high on him as Estime. So that's the difference there. But I click Estime so much that I'm like, maybe I shouldn't take Estime here, but I'm still fine with it. I think this is the type of team we need 7 running backs for because we're just super weak.
And again, going back to our point earlier, if I think that Madison could command 40 to 45% of the work, 18th round opportunity cost, pretty solid pick too.
Yeah, no, he's not a terrible option at that point. So what is this, a bog standard 2.772? Is that what we got?
Yeah, because I mean we got quarterback advantage there with Hurts and Love. Obviously, Kelsey's going to play like 95% of our weeks, but Fant's a good pivot option, especially now that Parkinson moved on, Will Disley moved on this offseason. Those are always his thorns in the side.
I think those are very under-discussed moves in Seattle. Not to mention, I think the biggest move is Pete Carroll not being there.
Yep. The Waldron out too.
Yeah, like I think you look at the way that, you know, the Ravens-ish scheme would have operated in a tight end offense. Fant can play the like lead tight end role in that offense. He also got a contract extension from Seattle too. So he kind of strikes me as one of the few late round tight ends that I feel pretty good about, because not often are you going to see like great athlete goes like late round, has a chance to really return as like a top tight end. He could be kind of like the next David Njoku when you really think about it. And again, maybe that's never going to happen again, or maybe Fant's just like kind of a wasted pick because he's got all that target competition there. But I think you could definitely do worse in the 15th round than Fant.
I'm sorry. I go on Twitter and I see this from Hayden. If I had to see it, you have to see it.
The hell is that?
So I had to share that. It just gave me a laugh. But yeah, we are cooking. Cooking.
Did we hear this? Are you taking Zeke over Pollard or Spears in full PPR?
I can't.
I wouldn't be able to do that. I actually don't mind Zeke, but that's a little too rich for me.
Agreed. Also, we haven't talked about it all stream, but it does seem fit now that we've made all of our picks. Can we talk about the ending of that fucking US Open? The last 5 holes?
Didn't watch it, so.
Bro, Rory fucking choked. He missed a 4-foot putt that ultimately Bryson parred that hole and won it all.
It's devastating.
Dude, 4-foot birdie putt. He makes that 99.999% of the time, and he fucking rimmed out of the cup.
That's tough.
Yeah, so that happens. And also, so Bryson on that hole, terrible first shot, ends up like in the caution area, tree branches all around him. His recovery shot ends up in the bunker. 55-yard bunker shot, lands it within 5 feet of the hole, and he ends up parring to win. The balls to go for that shot in the bunker when you literally know if you just get a 2-putt, you take it to extended time. Going for that shot, getting it within 5 feet of the hole, and then also making the par shot to win, man. Like that was intense, man. If you guys ever follow some golf, man, like and you did not watch yesterday, you missed out.
Yeah, for sure. Spicy said he was just going to run to the washroom here. Spicy, you can queue up another one, another Best Ball Mania. Again, I know Devo and some other people said they wanted to maybe get into the draft. Again, for those of you guys that are just piling in here and are new to Underdog, head on over there. Use promo code FSC to get $250 in bonus cash, plus a first-time deposit offer for a special pick'em entry. There's 2 more people to join this Best Ball Mania draft, and the new customer special tonight is for Jason Tatum on Game 5 of the NBA Finals. I believe we also have Game 5 of the NHL Stanley Cup Finals tonight.
Tomorrow.
Oh, is it tomorrow? Okay, yeah. So it's not tonight, but it'll be tomorrow. And of course, all the states listed here where you can do Underdog drafts. And when you sign up using promo code FSE, you'll also get our redraft guide, which drops July 1st for free. And you'll get our Dynasty rookie guide and our Dynasty rookie film breakdowns that we did back in March as well for free as well. What's up?
Sorry, let you finish the promo. I just have to say this out too. So we mentioned the golf. Obviously, we're playing the football. The other sport that was going on right now, Belgium ended up losing to Slovakia 1-0. So big upset.
Yeah, that is a
Belgium
big upset.
lost.
Belgium's got a good team.
Yeah. Wait. Is Giga Chat in this one as well? Sniper in perfect position.
Where are we?
Oh my God. Yeah. He picks a picture.
Oh, no. Same exact location.
So it actually is him. That's hilarious. I thought he was just saying it for the bit. That is comedy. Make his price. Yeah, no, for sure.
Also, is Chris Sims in our draft? C Sims 24.
What are expectations for Wilson, Olave, and London this year? Did we finally see the mega breakouts? So I would tier them Wilson, London, Olave in that order, specifically because that's ordered in my confidence in their quarterbacks for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I am kind of excited for the whole Olave with Clint Kubiak situation, but it's not. I'm not expecting a mega breakout from Olave. I'm expecting just kind of a continued steady career ascension from Chris Olave.
Like maybe instead of what did he have last year, 75 for 1100 or 80 for 1100, maybe instead now that's 85 for 1200.
Yeah, and instead of 5 touchdowns, he has 7,
7.
and he's
Yeah.
wide receiver 14 in points per game instead of wide receiver whatever he was last year.
Yeah, that's where I'm at as well. Bro threw so hard. Yeah, dude. I forgot too. There's also the 16th hole where he missed. I think it was a 3-foot putt. So 2
Tough.
really, really bad putts that he missed. He would like to have back. Obviously, everybody, if you watch the ending there, saw him fucking crumpled on the table, just anxiously waiting for Bryson, hoping he choked at the end. But then Bryson, of course, pars out, wins the whole tourney. So epic golf.
Tom asking if he should sell a 26 and a 27 first for either Garrett Wilson or Drake London. If you can do it for Garrett Wilson, I would do it.
For both, to be honest.
I would do it for both too. Yeah, I know Tom's in a bunch of leagues where his league mates are dumb as shit too. Like I've done a consult with him, so I'd be totally fine doing that as well. I wouldn't do it for Odunze because he mentions Odunze here, but I would do it for Wilson or London.
Yeah, for sure. Giga Chad is in our drafts. Let's see where he leans here. Goes Puka. It's a smash breeze all. Like we're not thinking twice.
Oh yeah, easy breeze for sure. This is an interesting question here. Michael says, "What's your take on when you need a third quarterback or tight end?" So my opinion on it is, I take 3 quarterbacks when my first quarterback is outside the top 10, say a Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Tua, somebody like that, and I take 3 quarterbacks then. Or sometimes I might double tap quarterback in that area and go like Jaden Daniels and Tua or something, and then be done at that point. But if I just get 1 and I wait a little bit, then I'll probably take 3. And then with tight ends, to be honest, if I don't get Pitts, maybe not Pitts, but like Ferguson at least or better, I probably take 3 usually.
Like if your tight end one's Njoku, you taking 3?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So I think the way that I approach tight end is that I just like to space them out. I wouldn't want to take like Njoku and Freiermuth. I usually would want to go like, spread them out a little bit. We almost just got Gibbs at 16, which would have been insane.
Can
we go Ayuk here?
I would take Nico, but I'm cool with any wide receiver, to be honest. We need
Nico's a smidge early for me. He already went too.
Oh, he went. Okay.
Let's go Ayuk here.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go Ayuk. So King of QC, is that what his name is? He's actually in the chat, so I think. Yeah, King of QC, 11th spot. Love that fucking pick. You know how much I love that pick. That's a good one. This is where Nico would have
been pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like as much as we would have been really behind at wide receiver, Gibbs and Brees would have been crazy.
You just can't pass on that. That's league winning upside, not RB1 and 2. But no, it makes more sense why Nico gets pushed up. It is an FSC room, and I will say right now, I understand ADP will say, "Oh, Nico 20th overall," but you're telling me I can walk away the 1-2 turn with Garrett Wilson and Nico Collins? I'd be fucking celebrating. I love that start.
Yeah, no, it's a nice start. Jake says Superflex start 11. Would you trade Stroud for Tua mid? No, I wouldn't. I'd rather have Stroud.
Yeah, no, I just not tearing down to Tua.
I'm not competing, but hope to in 2025. If you're not competing, sell Burrow. And also, didn't you mention you were competing? Yeah, and you wanted to tear down. I don't tear down from Stroud if you're not competing. I thought you were competing, and I was like, okay, maybe go to Hurts or Lamar or whatever. But if you're not competing and you have Stroud, just like literally hold on to it.
Let me go back to his first question. Where was it? I'm hoping to compete in 2025. Okay, so that means he's not competing in 2024 is what I'm saying. Okay. So he's not competing this year. He hopes to compete next year is what he's saying.
I see. Okay, so yeah, Burrow would be the guy that I'd be looking to move off of if you're not competing because he's the oldest of your quarterbacks and you should get a nice, pretty penny for him.
What's good, Ethan? Just saw that too. Bro threw so hard. Yeah, no, that throw by Rory was bad.
Yeah. What would you pay for Mixon as a contending RB2 in a 12-seed Superflex Dynasty? I actually made a trade for Mixon, so let me actually look at what I paid for him.
Mid-2 valuation?
Yeah, I think you could sell me on an early 2 if you were like a house money team coming out of it and you have like a guaranteed like just need an RB2 for your roster, but I would also like be willing to wait on that a little bit until closer to the season.
I think that's fair.
Like I traded Calvin Ridley, Jalen Polk, and a 4th for Devontae Adams and Joe Mixon. That was the trade that I made involving Mixon.
Pretty solid.
So mid-2 valuation, again, that's kind of what we're talking about there with Polk versus Mixon. They're pretty much the same mid-2 evaluations there.
We'll make our pick.
I never get Derrick Henry. I think he's kind of interesting, but we already have actually Brees. Never mind.
Yeah, we're too far behind the 8 ball.
Do we want to grab Zay here?
Zay or go by wide receiver?
Could go Laporta too.
Yeah.
I don't take a lot of Laporta. I wouldn't mind taking Laporta.
Yeah, I mean, we do have Ayuk. Do it.
Yeah, that's a week 17er.
Yes, sir. Cooper Cup
I
would have
almost
been
never
lovely.
take Laporta.
Of course. Wait. One thing. Sorry. Of course, it's Giga Chad sniping us on Cooper Cup.
Yeah, literally.
I mean,
honestly,
Puka,
I need to control my Cooper Cup bag,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
He has Puka. Never mind. He has Puka.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
didn't really snipe us on anything.
Yeah, he's cooking. He's cooking.
That was like when you accused me of sniping you on who were you? You texted me. You're like, I can't believe you sniped Ferguson. Or no, I can't. Don't snipe Dak from me, is what you said, and I had Lamb.
Yeah.
You're like, I have Ferguson. Don't snipe Dak, is what you told me. I'm like, I have Lamb.
Fair. I also had, for those that don't see the context, I also had, I think, Saquon and Devontae Smith on that team for the week 17. But no, I didn't realize you had
I'm pretty sure I had another Eagle on my team though too. I think I had Lamb and Barkley or something.
No, I had Barkley. 100%.
Did you have Barkley?
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
I thought I had another Eagle, but either way, I had Lamb, and I was like, yeah, I'm taking him.
Yeah, fair play.
Okay, we're on the board here.
We'll
I'm cool with Cooper or Pickens, or I kind of
week 17
Laporta.
Jets Browns. No, am I tripping? Or was that last year?
That was last year.
Let me see.
I'm still cool with Cooper though. Regardless,
I am too, but let me check. They play Miami this year, don't they? The Browns.
Yeah, they do.
Who do the Jets play? The Jets play the Bills. Keep that in mind. The Bills, Buffalo. Why am I frozen now? Why do I look so concerned?
This is what I keep saying when I'm like, why can't StreamYard be a better product?
What is going on with my face on your guys' end? Why? I look really fucking. Here, let me.
11 spot. Got some double stacks for Chicago and Cleveland in that last one. I'm happy, not really, but it's a build I've not had before. Hope to join you guys in a future draft. Yeah, Michael, make sure you get the noties on so you know every time we're going live on these drafts here. Brock says, I'm not interested in Olave. I think the Saints are going to collapse this year. I don't totally disagree with you, but I could still see Olave being the only lone bright spot of the Saints, even mid-collapse.
Yeah, man. That's actually comedy that fucking Giga Chat has been in the stream the whole time, because I'm like, how the fuck is this guy getting in every one of the drafts?
Yeah.
12-team Superflex start 11 tiered PPR non-tight end premium. Let me know if I overpaid. Defending champ sent Smitty +3 first. I got AJ Brown, Brees, Dolchich, and a third. Okay, so let's contextualize this. Let's say two of those ones equals Brees Hall.
I mean, I would say Smitty and Reed equals AJ, right?
Smitty and Reed equals AJ.
Probably.
I'd probably throw. I mean, just throw Dolchich in the third. So AJ, Dolchich in the third for Smitty and Reed.
No, I would. Yeah, I think it's probably AJ for Smitty and Reed. I'm a little higher on AJ than you are, though. So, I think it's a. I mean, you're the defending champ, so those are going to be late picks most likely.
Yeah,
it's a big price to pay, but to get AJ and Brees, I like that you went after studs. But
yeah, and I mean, especially too, like you said, if you have the depth in this situation, like I understand it. Again, for me personally, would I have rather that have said Garrett Wilson or Amon or St. Brown? Sure. But if you view AJ Brown in that area, I'm not going to offend you for it, especially not to mention if you're just talking about point equity this year as a defending champion, like Amon, I'd rather have him. I'd rather have than them. AJ Brown versus Garrett Wilson. Again, I slightly still prefer Garrett because of the volume in that offense, but like they literally go back-to-back picks. So like it's not like you're missing out.
I wouldn't have mind seeing like if Reed in 2-1s had got it done for Brees and then just going and buying a receiver from somebody else if that was the going rate for AJ Brown. But I don't think it's a bad trade whatsoever. So I mean, looking at our team so far, we got Ayuk, Cooper, Ridley, Sam Laporta, Brees Hall here. So we got that week 17 correlation with Ayuk and Laporta here. What are we thinking coming up?
Hear me out. I know it leaves us having to catch up a little bit at wide receiver. I'm going to wait to say this until after Giga Chad picks.
We're not picking Kincaid, if that's what you were going to say.
No. Okay. James Cook.
Yeah, James Cook makes sense. You're right.
Cook.
James Cook makes sense.
Yep. Big Jimbo.
Yeah, we are really going to have to catch up at wide receiver, though. And don't really feel great about Calvin Ridley as my wide receiver 3 or Chris Godwin as my wide receiver 3. Hopefully, even if none of those guys make it back to us, we're going to be in rough shape.
When did you make a deal with JJ McCarthy and Flock Me Silly?
I texted you that when I made the deal.
What?
Yeah, I
wouldn't
sold, what was it, JSN and what for McCarthy?
Also, Devontae Smith got traded for Ridley Schultz in a first. That's expensive for Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
I'm just catching up on all these deals. I just haven't checked my fucking sleeper at all. Did I get? Oh no, my trade I offered Arnie a while ago. He just hasn't even fucking looked at. Okay. Did you need a quarterback? Who's your quarterback core?
So the guy reached out to me and he said, I really want JSN. Like, what would you want to do for JSN? And I was like, I wouldn't mind JJ because I have Lawrence, Levis, and Daniel Jones was my quarterback core before that. And I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind a JJ share. And I was pretty deep at wide receiver. So what was the deal?
I'm gonna keep it a stack, Kennifer/Kaizen. I thought Bush won that pretty comfortably.
Right. I gave him Zamir White and JSN for JJ McCarthy, which I thought was a pretty good deal considering I got Smith and Jigba in like round 6.
McConkey?
Yeah, I'd be okay with Addison. I'd probably go Addison just because we're a little light at receiver. I wouldn't mind getting a guy who's going to be a starter right away.
Speaking of JJ McCarthy, his number 2 weapon.
McConkey could always fall back to us potentially, but actually, never mind. I thought we were picking on the turn.
Yeah.
No, I thought we were our 5-9, and then we'd have a pick and.
No, you're good.
Whatever.
Yeah, no. To be honest with you, Kennifer/Kaizen, I thought Bush won that pretty handily. I would much rather have JJ.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at like relative startup costs, the reason I made the deal in part was because JJ McCarthy is like a 3-4 turn startup pick, and JSN I picked in the mid 6th, and then Zamir White I think I got in like round 13 or 14.
Yeah. You know, I have JJ McCarthy as a top 36 valued asset. The thing with me is like for Kaiser/Kennifer's side, what has to happen for him to blow you out in this deal?
JSN's got to become a top 12 dynasty receiver, probably.
Even if he becomes a top 12 dynasty wide receiver, like
well, in addition to that, McCarthy's got a peak as like Tua at most.
But that's the thing. It's like there's so many more possibilities where you blow him out of the water, and this looks like a CJ Stroud deal from last year for you. Versus,
I mean, it's not going to look that bad because CJ Stroud. I gave up Damian Pierce and Sam Howell for CJ Stroud. Like that was really bad that I got him for that.
The last thing I'll say, sorry, not to pile on, Kennifer. I do remember you drafting the 106 in the startup and then trading off of Rome Odunze very cheap. So I would have, if you knew you were heavy at quarterback, why would you trade down from the 106 to the 107 and take JJ? Why not just take Rome Odunze? Like that's my issue.
Yeah, that is true. I remember that happening.
If I remember correctly, he traded down from the 106 to the 107. I didn't even think he would trade down. Otherwise, I would have traded up from the 108. So I was a little bit upset with that because if I knew 106 was available, I would have traded up. I was golfing that day. And yeah, if you're going to trade down for JJ McCarthy, you have to have a conviction with JJ McCarthy. You can't just trade him literally not even a month
also,
later.
if you want JJ, Danny, come get him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need quarterbacks. That's kind of my issue.
You have Allen and Murray, but you don't have a third quarterback.
I have Allen and Murray.
Danny Dimes would be available if you wanted a third QB. He's a decent third option.
Don't I have a third quarterback? Or am I tripping?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Fair. Jameis. Woo! Jameis. Let's go.
Nope, never again.
No, if like half my team, I'm just going to try to sell off in season, considering the fact that they're all just rookie running backs that everybody fucking let slip like 5-6 picks after I have them ranked.
One thing I've learned from leagues that you and I have been in is picking running backs to trade them later is a bad strategy.
Bro. Okay. The one I got at ADP, Jonathan Brooks, 202. That's where he goes. I got Jalen Wright, 210, ADP. Sure. I took those guys at about their ADP / where I have them ranked. After that, though, Tyrone Tracy in the 4-4. Fucking Isaac Orendo in the late 3rd, I believe I got him. Like, Audric Estime, Ray Davis, Bucky Irving, all fucking mid to late 4th round picks. It's like, if I'm at the 4th round of my rookie draft, what is the actual risk of taking guys that I think can command work?
Yeah, I mean, Garendo over Estime and Ray Davis is pretty wild that you did that, to be honest. I would have taken those guys easily over Garendo.
I took SMA ahead, but like Ray Davis. Oh, because I had the 309, the 310, the 311, so I took all three of them. That's what I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, our wide receiver board is getting fucking wiped right now. Look at the board, Spicy. Look how bad wide receiver just got gutted.
JMO at 77. No,
That's
not a
crazy,
good
dude.
sign.
Get ready to learn Josh Palmer again.
I mean, what correlations can we build out here? We don't have a quarterback.
I mean, I'm not taking Aaron Jones again.
No, I'm not doing that. Never again.
Oh God, this team's not looking good. This is rough.
This is ugly.
This is uggo. I mean, I say we just take the best player on the board, which is Ramondre Stevenson
or Kyler.
We could build out a backdoor Kyler on the low for the cheap guys that he has.
May as well get the quarterback advantage here if we're
because I mean, get ready to learn Michael Wilson, buddy.
Yeah, pretty much Greg Dortch. Michael Wilson. Yeah, that's the backdoor of all backdoors.
Gross.
Dude, how did I miss all this action in this league, by the way? Like, dude, all these deals, I just haven't looked at all.
Spicy, pull up the full board of the Underdog draft that we're in here. Look at the wide receiver Death Valley that we just missed at the end here. McConkey, Hopkins, B. Tom, fucking Rashee Rice, Keon Coleman, Deontay Johnson, JSN, Christian Watson, JMO. All go before.
Even Curtis Samuel in the 7th now, bro. I thought he was a solid 10th round pick, and now he's going in the 7th.
Yeah, and I think we absolutely have to take someone here if he falls.
I would have loved. I mean, we're gonna have to take Shakir when he falls back in the next turn, but I know who you're referring to. I'm not gonna say anything else. Yeah, there's people in this draft.
Everyone's allergic to RBs here. There's 4 freaking red badges in a row. No wonder everyone's allergic to RB. Actually, those are 2 of the same team. What am I talking about? I'm completely stunned.
QC's actually in the stream, so shout out.
No, true.
Where? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, he took the gamble. Grady took the gamble.
Do we reach Tyler Lockett here, or do we just take Johnny Brooks or something?
Bro, I'd fucking rather do anything than reach on him.
Do we take Swift or Warren?
Swift.
I think Swift is the best option here.
Ugh, fuck.
Gross.
These wide receivers make me want to vomit.
This receiver core is going to be piss low.
I'm sorry, but when we're drafting fucking Cortland Sutton over fucking running back projections, like, this is what we have to do, I guess.
I'm not capitulating that hard. Like, I'll do it a little bit, but yeah, we fucked up with the James Cook pick, I think. I
mean, where else were we going to go at that spot?
Odunze.
Probably, I guess.
Or Ridley.
I mean, this going to sound... we only did this because we got Ayuk, but very, very revisionist. Maybe that's just why I don't want to take Laporta in round 3 anymore.
Yeah, I mean...
Cooper Kupp went a pick before. If we had Cooper Kupp, I'd feel so much better right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, we can make it up.
We're gonna have to build out a 9 wide out, I think.
Yeah, no, we absolutely will need to, because this wide receiver core is.
Who do we go back to the board, Spicy? I want to see who we have for quarterback stacking options here, because I don't even think we have a good setup.
Minnesota, Green Bay,
Purdy, I guess.
Purdy, Goff.
Yeah, Goff, Purdy, and Watson. Makes sense.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. I think this is one of the worst teams we've ever built.
Yeah, this is not a good one. This is a rough. This is what's called running cold here.
Yeah, no, this is some bad luck in the draft. Some bad luck compounded with some 50-50s not going our way. It is what it is.
Yep. So if I sell Burrow instead of Stroud, would you trade Burrow and Addison for Herbert and Nico?
I would.
I'd probably be okay doing that, but I don't think it's a huge. I'd rather just sell Burrow straight for a stud receiver if you could. You know what I mean?
Can you sell him for CeeDee Lamb?
But yeah, like any one of the top 3 receivers, I would rather sell him for, or even like St. Brown or Harrison plus.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'm not like super huge on Herbert right now, man. I think he has a chance to lose some value here.
Question for you, Bush. So off camera, or not, we're on camera, but you know what I mean, off topic. But in a slow right now, my running backs are McCaffrey, Pacheco, Corum, Dowdle, Chandler. 5 running back build. Are you closing that off at 5 running backs? Or are you adding a 6th? I'm at the 17.
I would draft 6, I think.
Draft 6? Okay, I'm going to go Damian Pierce.
You have 2 guys that are completely, I mean, I wouldn't even take a guy like that if I were you too, because you have a lot of handcuffs then.
No, that's fair. I do think like Dowdle,
I mean,
Chandler
in the draft you're at, are you getting anybody who's not a handcuff?
No, like we're looking at Deontay Foreman, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tank Bigsby at this range as the top ADP guys.
Tyler Lockett falling is quite huge, actually. We'll take him.
Yeah, we take Lockett every single time. Also, Chicago versus Seattle correlation. Shakir went a pick before us. Wow.
Yeah, he did. But honestly, I'm kind of fine with that. I'd rather. I
was hoping he fell back to our other turn.
I would rather have Lockett.
I would too, but I wanted both.
He wouldn't have fallen back to us.
I don't think so. What's his ADP?
I don't think so.
Doesn't he go like 115 ADP? I mean, maybe you're right, but so he raised an ADP. Okay, fair.
Yeah, no, he's been going higher recently.
Makes sense.
Do we want to take Purdy and close off our QB core here, or do you want to
go with the wide receiver and wait on Goff?
You'd rather do that?
It's a risk because there's a guy with JMO picking a couple picks in front of us, but
Palmer just went. Do I want to take Mike Williams here? Probably not.
We do have Brees.
Ugh, I don't care.
Disgusting. What about AD or Myers? Could I introduce you?
I actually, there's a lot of wide receivers that I don't mind late, so I'd be fine taking Purdy here personally.
I also really like AD here because we do kind of have the steady, floor projections at wide receiver for the most part. Getting the upside wouldn't hurt us. Plus 2, we would have 5 wide receivers, which I think is kind of a necessary in the 10th round.
No, I would be more down for Williams than Mitchell, though, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, my vote would be Mitchell, but if you're down for Williams, I'd capitulate to Williams because we do have the Brees exposure.
Well, my vote would be Purdy, but if we're going to take a receiver,
I think given the construct of our team, we have to take the risk that Goff falls back. I know it's probably unlikely he does, but like if we don't grab a receiver here, it could be urine.
Let's roll with Mitchell. I never take Mitchell anyways.
Do that.
I almost never take Mitchell, so I'll let you give me some shares of him.
Dude, I mean, at this rate, especially given the construct of our team, guys like Cooper, Lockett, although he's young, I would say Addison's probably more of a floor play now, given the quarterback situation. We don't know how McCarthy's going to look early on. Brandon Ayuk is a ceiling projection, but also because of the construct of the offense, it's not going to be a ton of volume. So, like having a guy like AD Mitchell who can catch a 70-yard touchdown any given game, like definitely helps the upside of that room.
Yeah, 70-yard touchdown any given game will be one of his 31 catches this whole season.
Maybe, bro. But if he gives us 4 usable weeks and one of them happens in the playoffs, we'll be happy with it.
True. What else we got here? Shakir, what are your thoughts on this Bills situation?
I'm in on Shakir.
I'm in on Shakir as well. Shakir's the one I've been drafting the most of.
Same.
I think Curtis Samuel is fine. I'm not convinced he's the type of guy that would really return much on his ADP from where he's going currently. I don't think I've selected Keon Coleman one time, legitimately. I don't think I've clicked the button on him once.
Yeah, I mean, I've drafted him a couple times because obviously you want that big-bodied archetype with some touchdown upside. Like
I don't want a big-bodied archetype who is a completely raw receiver, though. That's the thing I keep coming back to. Like, why did I study his film if I wasn't going to act on what I saw?
No,
which is,
I mean,
I like
Keon
Coleman for Dynasty, but I do not think he'll have a great year 1, to be honest.
And I think that's fair, but also, like, if he's getting the snaps and he's got the talent that we think he was, yes, sure. Early season, it might be a little bit ugly. And I do agree at the 6th round, 7th round ADP, that is inflated. I completely agree with you, but it's more so like a bet like, oh, is Dalton Kincaid going to be the next Travis Kelce? Because if not, one of these wide receivers will pay off. Maybe two.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just think it'll be Shakir.
No, I think that's fair. Like if I actually isolate the stats for Shakir, week 8 on is when he started seeing the uptick in snaps. I'm actually curious what his points per game was down the stretch.
I think he was like a wide receiver 3, to be honest.
Yeah, like he
was like 12, 11 points per game, something like that.
Week 15, he had a goose egg against Dallas. Oh, that was the fucking snow game. If you isolate out that game, like we're talking about a guy, 15.2 PPR points, 9.7, 3.4 down week, 20.5, 7.7, 2.2 and 0 were down weeks, but then after that, he finished the year strong 7.5, 8.9, 16.5. Like, it's not like eye-popping stats, but that's also with Stephon Diggs on the roster. Now, if you're projecting forward, a guy that Gabe Davis is well on the roster, now you're projecting a guy that down the stretch was getting the snaps, did show flashes of some productivity in certain games. Like, if he can take that next step again, he's only going into his third year, which is typically the year we see receivers break out. I don't mind it. By the way, we missed out on the stack by 3 picks.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen, to be honest.
I had a feeling we had to take the chance, though, because otherwise we would have been.
We did. We have other options we can stack too. I'd be
Aaron
fine
Rodgers.
taking a late Sean Watson or a late round, whoever else we got to take.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, we could take Rodgers.
Do we have a tight end too? Because, I mean, we could always backdoor Conklin.
This could be a Cooks team too.
I'm cool with that. You know, I'm always.
I don't take Cooks very often, but I think he kind of does fit this team a little bit.
Some spike week upside. I dig it.
Yeah.
Like, the thing I keep coming back to with Cooks is, like, it's not just going to be, like, obviously we know CeeDee Lamb is going to be this elite productive player. We assume Jake Ferguson is going to make a jump at the tight end position, because I do think, especially down the stretch last year, he was by far their number 2 weapon in the offense. But we know Dak's going to throw the ball for over 4,500 yards for over 30 passing touchdowns. Outside of CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson, who maybe they combine for CeeDee Lamb gives you 1,800 yards, Ferguson gives you 900, then you're looking at 2,700 passing yards. Like, somebody else has to be productive on that team, given what we project for Dak Prescott. Who's it going to be?
Ferguson has 900 yards, he's going to crush his ADP.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, we expect Lamb and him to be the 2 most productive players. Even if they had 1,800 and 900 respectively, that's 2,700 passing yards. Dak is almost locked to throw for over 4,500 yards. Where else is the production going to come from?
Jalen Tolbert. No, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, he's in the 17th round and he could be a starting outside wide receiver for them. Brandon Cooks is in the 12th round, and this is a guy who's been a former 1,000-yard receiver. Yes, does he have the same stability he had in Houston? No, but can he be 800 yards and 8 touchdowns and stay healthy this year? Absolutely.
Yeah. Do we want to grab
Lloyd?
I wouldn't mind grabbing Gabe Davis, to be honest, for more spike week potential, or Xavier Legette for more upside too. I think I'd go Legette here.
Yeah, we need more upside with the team. I agree with that.
Yeah, let's go with Legette. We have Brandon Cooks for the double condom pick last time.
Yeah. Talk me through stacking correlations and the benefits of doing that in lineup redrafts versus best ball. So obviously in best ball, there's going to be more benefit to stacking, but I think Ron summed it up best in his video last year, literally on stacking, where you're making bets in fantasy football regardless. And if we're talking about Underdog specifically, when you're selecting 18 players from 18 different teams, you're making 18 different bets on 18 different offenses. The more you consolidate your bets and getting more players on said team means that you have more leeway to be right or wrong. And if you do end up being right, well, guess what? You double benefit. Because if you bet on the Packers, Jordan Love being an MVP candidate this year, well, that means Jordan Love is going to crush his ADP. You are making that bet. If you're betting on Jordan Love crushing his ADP, you have to have some stock in his wide receivers, in his tight ends, because that would most likely mean that they also pay off at their ADP if Jordan Love takes said leap. So basically, the best way to describe it is consolidating your bets in an offense that you think is going to either break out or be one of the best offenses in the league, and getting as many tertiary connected pieces as you can, because typically if one piece is going to explode their ADP, it most likely means that all of them are going to pay off at ADP.
Yeah, like, for example, last year, if you thought CJ Stroud was a very over-scrutinized prospect, was a very good prospect, and you thought he was going to come right in and light it up, and you drafted a shit ton of Nico Collins, Tank Dell, even if you missed on some John Mechie or whatever, like, you still brought along a lot of those guys, you would have been really profitable by investing in the Houston Texans. And some of the teams that I've been doing that with late are the Patriots with Drake May.
Patriots are the easy one.
The Broncos with Bo Nix, I've been doing it with well. Like, there's teams that you can invest in that you think are undervalued. We talked about the Browns too. We think the Browns could be a really good offense. Even if, Cooper's the only guy going high, you can make a pretty decent bet on some cheap options. It really comes down to this. Like, if you take 18 players from 18 different teams, you have to hit an 18 leg parlay essentially. If you take 12 different teams, maybe you took 3 players from one team, 2 players from another team, 2 players from another team, whatever, you're hitting a 12 leg parlay instead of an 18 leg parlay.
Basically, why you would stack, like Corey's saying, is if you're trimming down the legs of a parlay, your payout in an actual parlay system is going to be less. But when you're doing it in best ball, you're not facing the impact of taking your odds down from plus 1,800 to plus 900. So why wouldn't you over correlate, if that makes sense?
Yeah, not to mention too, that's just from the season long aspect or the season long angle of why you would correlate. From the single week angle, it's if Tua goes berserk and throws 4 touchdowns in week 17 against the Browns or whatever, then he's going to bring along somebody, whether it's Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Jonnu Smith, whoever. It makes sense, especially for passing quarterbacks specifically, rather than like, a Kyler Murray who we have on our team, to bring along some pass catchers from them. Speaking of which, is Michael Wilson on the board still? Because we do have Kyler Murray unstacked right now.
Is he? He should be available, right? Like he should be like in the 150 range, right? Michael Wilson. Yeah. Okay. 174 ADP. So
okay, we could just star him, but we can probably wait a little bit. How many receivers do we have? 7. We should probably take another quarterback or tight end potentially.
I'm cool with Hawkinson.
Yeah, let's grab Hawkinson. We do
have Addison.
Yeah, and we have what's his name already? Laporta. So he's going to carry us most of the time.
Exactly. Not to mention another underrated factor that we made earlier is you do get the 2 divisional games. So I understand it's not a big correlation, but betting on 2 teams in the same division, knowing that they're going to play double the games against each other, if you're betting on those games being high scoring and having multiple pieces in those games, you're basically treating it like a DFS lineup on that said week.
Yeah, and I actually don't know off the top of my head, but they might play each other week 15 or 16 too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
They don't, but the Bears and Lions play each other, and we have Swift. So
yep.
And the Bills, actually, the Bills and Lions play each other in week 15. So we have the James Cook to Sam Laporta in week 15, the DeAndre Swift to Sam Laporta week 16, and then the Brandon Ayuk to Sam Laporta in week 17. So we got him triple correlated, which is
Let's
nice.
Go. By the way, if we're contextualizing this out, so basically, let's assume he took CJ Stroud at the 103 in that startup. CJ Stroud, if you're telling me I can turn him into Justin Herbert, Malik Neighbors, and a 2025 first round pick, I think I'm taking it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do we want to take Rodgers here as our second quarterback? We have Brees, and did we take Williams?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, we didn't. We took Mitchell.
Right. Okay.
We still have Brees. I mean,
I'm cool with Rodgers.
Yeah, we could go or we could just take Watson too. Let's go Rodgers.
Let's go Rodgers.
Take Watson too much. I take Watson too much. Let's go.
I don't have a lot of Rodgers. Let's mix it.
Yeah, we should probably take a third receiver late.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna need to start smashing some running backs. Pause.
Yeah, we will. We're gonna need to take our final receiver needs to be a Jet, I think, because we don't have any correlation there.
Yeah, I mean,
other than Brees.
Hey, hear me out. 18th round, Xavier Gibson.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Actually,
much worse than that. I mean, the other.
I wouldn't hate Alan Lazard, to be honest, because I think Alan Lazard is like only dependent on Aaron Rodgers playing. So
he was like a 7th round pick last year, and now he's just undrafted.
I actually think Alan Lazard is a half decent pick in the 18th round. If you guys are looking for a scroll the F down pick in 18th round, I think Alan Lazard's not terrible.
Like, didn't he command? Like, he didn't command a ton of targets, but for an 18th round opportunity cost, didn't he get a quite amount of decent work last year?
I'm pretty sure when Rodgers tore his Achilles, Alan Lazard was just collecting paychecks every week after that. Like, he wasn't even down to play football anymore without.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So in his last 4 games he played last year, 1 target, 1 target, 1 target, and then he had a random 6 targets that he turned into 21 yards. So
I'm telling you, bro, he phoned it in without Rodgers. That's what happened.
That's his guy, bro. Once Rodgers went down, his guy was gone. He was mad. He was not happy.
Yeah, exactly. I could see it. Can you go back to the board here, Spicy? Because I want to see what the RB position looks like, because we are quite weak there as well.
Wait. Sorry, I have to say one thing. How much money do you think Alan Lazard is due this year?
Probably way more than it should be.
So I see this report on Sleeper. Jets have made Alan Lazard available in trade talks. I wonder who's going to trade for him. Very, very, very tempting, right? According to leak sources, Lazard is due a $10 million salary this year.
That's crazy.
$10 million. He got 23 of 49 targets for 311 yards last year. $10 million.
Kind of insane.
Christ. Oh man.
49 targets for 10 million bucks. This guy's getting paid like 500 or I can't do the math quickly, but he's getting paid a lot per target.
Yeah, I mean, what, 50? He's literally getting paid what?
Hold on. We're doing it. We're doing the math quickly.
I mean, $200,000 per target, no?
Yep. 204 grand a target.
Christ. What about Burrow for love in a mid-second? I mean,
Danny prefers
I
Love
would
over
do
Burrow
it. But...
straight. You're trying to get us going on this argument again, but I would take Burrow there.
I would take love in the second, but yeah, that's all we can leave it at. You take.
I think we answered this already, but I would probably in redraft I would take Pollard first of this group, and then I would probably take Spears second, and then I would probably take Zeke. But
for the record, by the way, going
did we
back
take Gibson. Hold on, we're on the clock real quick. Do we take Gibson this far past ADP?
Yes. We need a running back.
Yeah, and
we
then
also have the Jets.
I mean,
did we just say it was Jets Bills? But I mean, we also have the Patriots correlation because, of course, it's the division.
Yeah, we should. So I think we could get away with a 9 wide receiver build here because we actually we might be light at running back in terms of numbers, but we did use a lot of good
3 in the first 4.
RBs. So if Michael Wilson does fall back to us, we should probably pick him because we have Murray unstacked right now.
I mean, the only other guy
Zay Jones.
Yeah, but I was gonna say if he does go, the other one I would argue is exactly who I'm gonna say.
Greg Dortch
for the next pick.
Oh, Demario Douglas. No, we have to take either a Cardinal or a Jet with our next 2 receivers. We can't go uncorrelated on both of our.
Okay, check where the Dortch ADP is at.
I would rather have Zay Jones than Greg Dortch. I'm gonna keep it a stack on that one.
I think I'd rather have Dortch. I don't know. They're both kind of pretty interesting.
I don't know. Zay Jones has he had touchdown red zone kind of role.
Wilson over both though, right?
Year. What's up?
Wilson over both though. Let's clarify that, right?
Yeah, Wilson. If he's here right now, we're picking him.
This would be the only time I'd be
pick him though.
This would be the only time I'd be okay with getting sniped on Demario Douglas. Also, all the tight ends just want to go off the board now, eh?
Yeah. Okay. Thank God. We go Mike Wilson here.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, this is the only time I would not smash Demario. Giga Chad knows right away. Made the pick. I love it. He's ready.
We could double stack Murray though too. Instead of stacking Alan Lazard with our final pick, we could take Zay Jones with our final pick or Greg Dortch.
Yeah, whoever falls back. I'm cool with it.
I kind of like the idea of taking Alan Lazard though. I don't know why. I've gotten sold on the idea of doing it.
Hear me out.
They have a connection.
Because we made the bet on Michael Wilson, I would almost rather take Greg Dortch because I just schematically, stylistically. Yeah,
Zay Jones and Michael Wilson probably don't both coexist.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Not to mention, I mean, they're both going to be just not backup, but second/third fiddle to the X receiver spot because there's a guy named Marvin Harrison Jr. that exists.
Oh yeah. Burrow and Addison for Love and Zay. I mean, I would still take Burrow and Addison, but it's probably close.
I mean, I would rather have Love and Zay, but also if you told me the other option was Herbert and Nico, I just prefer Nico to all the wide receivers you mentioned.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Josh says, yo boys, 10-team Dynasty Superflex competing team traded the 101 Drake London JSN in a second for Trevor Lawrence, Amon-Ra, and Mark Andrews. QBs are now Hurts, Lamar, and T-Law. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra, Jamar, Flowers, Devontae. So let's
break this down.
St. Brown for 101's more or less a wash, I would say.
No, I'd rather have Caleb.
Okay, so yeah, that's true. Okay, 101 plus JSN for Amon-Ra and Andrews.
Yeah, I mean,
that's probably fair. And then it's London and a second for T-Law, which is also probably fair.
I'd rather have London in a second.
I think this is a pretty fair deal.
It's pretty fair, but yeah, it's pretty fair. And I guess because you're getting the 10-team factor, you're upgrading your wide receiver point equity this year where the quarterbacks are more.
In a 10-teamer, Andrews is going to be worth more too.
Yeah. No, it's fair. It's not something I'm over the moon to accept, but it's fair.
And I did see that video, Spicy, of Jaden Daniels and Ayuk talking on the phone or whatever on FaceTime.
Yeah.
And Ayuk was like,
well, I mean, I don't think...
want me here anymore, bro. They don't want me here. Like,
I don't think a lot
seemed
of
kind of
people-
Mickey Mouse, like it was for the cameras to try and get them to negotiate better.
Yeah, for sure.
Do we take Zay here,
We do need a
or do we take
take a running back here and then see which Cardinals.
yeah? Let's go
receiver falls.
to the running back position. We'll take an RB here.
I mean, we don't have Cleveland running back, do we? We can go Foreman. I don't think.
Yeah,
we have
let's
Joe.
go Foreman.
Yeah, let's go Foreman.
Let's go Foreman here.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
we got Foreman, and then we want to go Lazard with our last pick or Dortch.
Whichever of Lazard, Dortch, and Zay Jones fall back, I'm cool with.
I think we should go Lazard. I think he might be a scroll the absolute F down. And he's like probably not a guy that's going to get drafted very often. And he's a big red zone target that has chemistry with his quarterback. So
yeah, no, that's definitely fair.
And I kind of agree with you on the Zay Jones point that if we took Michael Wilson, we probably don't want Zay Jones too.
Yeah, because I mean, like realistically, you're making the
it's like
bet
taking
that,
Hyatt and Slayton. They just you just don't take them both.
Because like the way like Greg Dortch, at least I can convince myself, hey, in 3 wide receiver sets, he can play the slot wide receiver role while Michael Wilson / Zay Jones and Marvin Harrison are on the outside. Versus if you take both Zay Jones and Michael Wilson, it's like, are either of them actually going to play the slot?
Yeah,
like
no,
maybe,
I mean maybe
Michael Wilson,
one of the big receivers
big
in there. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could throw Harrison into the slot if you needed to.
You definitely could, but
yeah. Let's go Lazard here.
I'm cool with it. We do have Rodgers. That's also a deciding factor. We didn't have a stack for Rodgers, I believe.
Right. No, that's why I said we should stack up one with each guy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have Brees. They could connect for like 4 receiving touchdowns this year, but
I like how we've constructed that. I mean, hear me out. It wasn't the prettiest start, but I feel like we landed the plane pretty well.
We did. Yeah. The Avalanche buried us there for a bit.
Yeah. But we regained. We showed signs of life, baby.
Yeah. We had to build a 9 wide receiver build though, because we were so behind at receiver at one point.
Yeah. No, for sure. And Reed, let me know what you think. Yeah, I know you got a good team there for sure, Josh. Yeah. By the way, this could either be an underrated fact or one that people have talked about too much, but I think some people forget that Brandon Ayuk and Jane Daniels actually played with each other.
Yeah, well, that's because Jaden Daniels is ancient. So,
dude, it's actually so funny. We think like Brandon Ayuk's been in the league for what? This is going to be his 5th season.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall was on that team too.
Ricky Pearsall, yeah, the boys, they're linking up. Yeah, fun fact.
Yeah.
Christ. Thoughts on stacking this year? Won my backup league last year with the Lion stack. Which team do you like this year, or should I stay away? I mean, it's always at a value, right? Like I'm not reaching 12 picks to finish a stack. But if it's like, oh, there's 5 guys I like and he's the 5th guy and I have a stacking reason to be able to take him, that's about as far as I would go. And I think we kind of talked about it in that draft. Like, you're not just going to completely shift your board because you have the stack, but it's like a half round of a difference and he's not going to make it back to you. Like, I don't mind just taking the stacking option because you are making that consolidated bet.
Yeah, especially with on Underdog, I've noticed people kind of stay in their lanes quite a bit with the stacking nature of the platform. And you can sometimes push stacks too. I've noticed, like, especially if you have like passing quarterbacks, for example, like if you have Hill and Waddle, like nobody is motivated to take Tua. You don't have to reach 20 picks past ADP to take Tua. Like there's a good chance you'll get him at or after ADP if you have Tyreek and Waddle.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to the passing quarterbacks specifically, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you have Pittman. If somebody wants Anthony Richardson, they will snipe you on Anthony Richardson. It doesn't matter if
like,
you have Marv.
The other thing too is Tyler. Like if it's a very consolidated offense like the Dolphins and you have Hill and Waddle or you have Kupp and Nakua and some, like nobody's taking Stafford if you have Kupp and Nakua, realistically.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason to. The only reason to take Stafford would be if somebody built out the cardinal sign of that correlation and got sniped on Kyler. That's the only way.
Or you're a complete sand eater and you're like, Matthew Stafford 5 picks past ADP. Okay.
Don't mind if I do the ADP value, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when people play in like 3 drafts and it's like, okay, they don't actually have a portfolio to balance. So they just take all the players they like.
Yeah. Which is fine. If that's,
it is fine. But like what I'm saying is like, once you play in a larger amount of drafts, like you're also balancing your ownership, you're balancing your textures. Like, there's a lot more things. So like if people say, okay, what's the difference between if you draft 1 draft versus if you draft 150? If you're managing a portfolio, even though I really like CeeDee Lamb and he's my 101, if I'm in 1 draft, I will take CeeDee Lamb 101. But if I'm in 150 drafts and his ADP is 102 versus I know McCaffrey 95% of the time will go 101, I'm going to have to take McCaffrey a lot more despite me having Lamb ranked higher.
Yeah, for sure. Because you're only at the mercy of however many 101s you get.
Exactly.
unfortunately. And last year, I remember I had like 3% Justin Jefferson because I just never got the 101.
I remember that. I remember, and I got a bunch of
Probably a
101.
good thing because he ended up getting hurt, but
I got a bunch of 101, including in our home league, in our fucking in our listener league. I got the 101, got Justin Jefferson, missed half the year, and somehow still won the championship. Like I felt
that's
pretty good
impressive.
about that.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Felt pretty good.
I mean, somebody gave you Tyreek for a bag of biscuits, so that's why that happened.
I gave Mike Evans and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs RB1. Mike Evans was a top 5 or 8 receiver or whatever. What did he finish
Josh
last
Jacobs
year?
was not an RB1 last year.
Was he not?
No, I don't think so. At least maybe it didn't feel like it. If he was,
I mean, just based off of volume, he probably fucking like snuck into there.
I don't think he was. I think he was like RB15.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he didn't actually score a lot of touchdowns. Maybe you're right. He had 805 yards. I'm curious what his points per game look like because he did miss 4 games. He had 805 rushing yards, 300 receiving yards in that stretch. Yeah, I'm curious. What was his points per game? I'm actually gonna check this now. But regardless, yeah, I did get very lucky that Jacobs had a bad year because if both Evans popped off and Jacobs put me down, would have been great.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so that is the end of the stream. We tackled 2 BBM5 drafts. Again, for those of you guys that are joining us late, Best Ball Mania 5 is a great contest, man. $25, you could win $1.5 million to first place if you take this thing down. Underdog Fantasy, if you want to go to the drafts tab real quick, Spicy, just to showcase some of the contests they have live right now. They have tons of contests going right now. The Big Dog, if you guys are a big bankroll player, obviously you'd be in on stuff like that. And the Mastiff, Dalmatian's an interesting contest too that I want to definitely get some entries into. Me and Danny are going to Buffalo about a week from today.
Oh yeah.
On Tuesday, sorry. So 8 days from today. That's a 3 entry max with a $101 entry, $30K to first. So that one's interesting. And if you guys are just trying to dip your toes into the water, get a couple drafts in. The Chihuahua 2 is live right now, which is just a $4 entry, which are interesting drafts to get into. And again, when you sign up over on Underdog Fantasy, make sure to use the promo code FSE. You get $250 in bonus cash on there. And then you also get a special pick'em, which tonight is a new customer special for Jason Tatum, higher than 0.5 total points for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. And when you use promo code FSE, you'll get our Dynasty Draft Guide for free, our rookie guide, our Dynasty Rookie Breakdowns on film. Me and Danny did all 22 breakdowns back in March. You get those for free. And when our redraft guide comes out on July 1st, you will get that for free as well. So if that interests you, check that down below in the pinned comment in the description once this live stream is over. But with that being said, peace out. We'll talk to you soon.